Ashley's magical journey, from classroom to beloved children's author, igniting young imaginations.
Ashley, I'm just amazed by your story of how you went from math teacher to children's. Hello, welcome to Parents Talk. This is Francine Julene, and I am with my new friend, Ashley Wahl, a former educator, well, really still an educator because she is now educating through her books. Book author. Can you let us in on how that could happen?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've always loved, and been passionate about educating kids and empowering kids to believe in themselves and, that their future is wide open. It can be anything they want to be. And also been an avid reader. So once I had kids, I stayed home and we went through tons and tons, hundreds, thousands of books. And I knew I eventually wanted to get back into some sort of career for myself. I wasn't sure what it was at the time, and I just kind of kept getting inspired to write children's books. And I definitely knew I always still wanted to be working with kids and empowering kids in some way. And then, year after year, that thought kind of kept going from the back of my mind to the front of the mind, children's books. So I mentioned it to my husband. He was fully supportive. And so we went for it, wrote the children's books. And seeing my kids and living that young parenting journey with the kids, I saw what children's books did for them and how much they wanted to read and how much it improved their vocabulary and their imagination. And also the alternative, how much screens and other things can also suck their attention away. And I really wanted to develop a love for reading and develop big imaginations in kids that they can believe in themselves and be empowered and turn to books and just all the things. And that's what I kind of tried to wrap around and into my books. And that's where now, yeah, like you mentioned, I still think of myself as an educator because I go into the schools and I read to kids and help, build their imaginations and their belief in themselves and everything. It's just a different way with words instead of numbers now.
You're not in the classroom anymore, but can you tell us what you do when you go into the school, how you interact with the kids?
Yes, it's one of my favorite things, if not my favorite thing about being an author. I first kind of wanted to show the kids how a story is made. We talk about imagination and, I tell them, think about an animal and now think about what that animal is going to do. And does that animal have a friend? And so they're thinking about all this stuff in their mind. And I was like, you're writing a story. And then we talk about, a lot of them are 4, 5, and 6. So they're learning how to write and read. And I was like, while you're practicing your letters and putting words together, then you start writing down your story and you can become an author. So I really want to inspire them to, create their own stories and everything like that and use their imaginations. And then we go in and we read the books. And at the end of each one of my books is a little teaser for the next one. Because again, I just really wanted to empower kids to want to pick up another book. So like at the end of the bulldozer, there's a dinosaur tale. So then the kids are dinosaur. So we read a second book, and then at the end of that one, there's a fire truck, and so they want to keep on reading. So, however long the teachers will allow me and the kids will stay engaged, I will keep on, reading the books, and then we go over again at the end about just using their imagination and that it's open ended. There is no stop to what they can do.
I like that, getting them to use their imagination. I remember when I was a kid a long time ago, our toys made us use our imagination.
Hmm.
We didn't have computer games and video games and
Yeah.
all the stuff that kids have today. It's almost like the toys are thinking for the kids.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of a book
Right.
is when somebody reads a book, it conjures different pictures in their
Yeah.
brains. So, have you ever had a kid think of or tell you about something in your book that you had never thought of? So,
Oh yeah, and I mean the kid. I mean, it's a funny thing because then the kids, since it has that teaser, you should do this next. You should do that. They should do this. And it's funny. I also had my illustrator in my space book that's coming out said I showed them the book and they want to know what happened to the space creatures, and I was like, they have to come up with that themselves. And so the kids do love to always come up with their own. Oh, if I had this, I would do that. And so it's kind of something that I didn't really expect also in the books, that it's like the day I had. So it can be endless, right? It can be anything that the kids are like, okay, so this is what this is what I'm going to have, or this is what I would do with a dinosaur. And it really like helps them have confidence and empowerment on like, okay, well, what would you do? You know? And then there's like little Easter eggs throughout the book that hint at other books, and they get really engaged and involved in that too. Oh, there's this, there's that. And so they're always coming up with ideas, you know, of their own, which is great.
So you made me think of something with my books. My books are about camp confidence, where all the kids have something in their lives that bring them to this camp where they learn how to become more confident, self-assured.
Awesome.
And one thing I don't do is really go into that character development because it's more about what happens in camp confidence. So I'm starting an Instagram series, giving each kid a bit of a backstory.
Yeah.
And you just made me think, how cool would that be to get input from the kids?
Yes, it's awesome. They think of things you don't even think about, you know, uh, which is awesome. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta put that in my next book. I gotta add this, I gotta add that, you know. We're like, this is a great thing. Let's make sure we keep those going. Getting input from the kids is they are the ones that we're writing for. So seeing what they want and they're interested in what catches their attention is, I love that.
Well, and it also could bring up new themes for new books. Um,
Yeah.
I was struggling with book two because what I thought I wanted to write about just didn't sit well. I wanted to
Hmm.
write about a shy girl and about how Cam Confidence was making her less shy. But then every time I try to write it, it was like telling this little girl not to be herself. And it
Yeah.
didn't feel right. So
Yeah.
I actually talked to my publisher about it, who has, I think he's 12 or 13, 12-year-old boy now who is also
Uh-huh.
an author. And he told me that the kids in the middle school area hide what makes them special because they don't want to stand out. So
Yeah.
that's how Let Your Sparkle Shine came. All the kids are hiding something, and then
Uh-huh.
Sparkle Feathers and Princess Francie help them find out why it's so special to let your
Love that.
sparkle shine.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I think listening to the kids is important. What's
Mhm.
affecting them, and how can we as authors write a story that will help them work through their childhood woes, so to
Yeah.
speak, you know? So
Yes, no, I love that. That's especially now with this social media and everything out there, you know, kids are from such a younger age too. Oh, I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't like that or you know, and it kind of takes away a little bit of who they are but to be able to put that back in there saying, no, that is unique and that is you and that is important. I love that. That is fantastic.
well, one of the characters in the book, she loves to dance, but she's a
Uh,
little chunky. Well,
uh,
that girl came right from my childhood. I love to dance, but I
yeah.
didn't fit that
Hmm.
persona of a ballerina. So I hid that until
Yeah.
finally in my adult life, I'm a dancer. Who cares what I
Yeah.
think?
Yes, I'm gonna do what I love.
Yeah. So that's what I try to bring out to kids. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you. Do
Hmm.
what you love.
Yes, yes, I love that.
So what are some of the common themes in your books?
So the big one is imagination. I really want kids. I believe that a kid who can imagine is a kid who can change the world, and they can then, you know, and starting that imagination from the young age grows into this, you know, the things that you were talking to as they get older and grow from my books to, you know, your books as then they can imagine and they can see the world differently and make their own choices. And that's another theme in the book is where these kids are empowered and they're in charge of their day and they're choosing to be kind to each other and they're choosing to work together and they're choosing, you know, they're figuring out how to solve problems, which helps build that confidence and just really build who they are from that young age that they can think for themselves and you know maybe we don't agree or maybe somebody's struggling but we can still help and we can still be friends and we can still be kind.
I love that. The fact that we could disagree and still be friends.
Yes.
Wow, the world needs a whole lot more of that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I just got my third book.
There you go. There you go.
So tell me, which is your favorite character?
Oh, that is so tough. I love all of them because the narrator is Luke, and he's kind of, and I wouldn't even necessarily say he's the leader, but he's just the one who's telling the story of the day, and he's the guy, the kid next door. He loves his family, and he just wants to have fun with his friends. And then you've got Noah, who loves to read and learn, and he's always giving facts about the different adventures that they're going on. And then Mikey is accident prone. He's kind of that silly wild kid who's gonna, climb the stairs from the outside. Yeah. And so he's always doing something, a little silly and causing some mishaps. And then there's Emma, who is so sweet, and she's girl power and coming up with ideas and suggestions. And they really just all complement each other and with their own like distinct personalities. So I don't know if I can pick a favorite because I kind of pulled all different little things, and highlighted them each one, So they're all unique in their own way.
Love it. And I imagine kids could see little parts of themselves in each
Exactly.
too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was always what made me want to read a book, is when I could identify with the
Mhm.
characters.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So are your books more to be read to kids or for kids at that beginning stage where they're learning how to read?
Both. They really are geared towards that 2.5 to 5, 6 range. So and kids are learning to read. There's 4-year-olds who can read, and then some kids can't read till they're 6 or 7. So it really depends on that. But a lot of them are, yeah, parents are reading the picture books to them. And then as kids, the print is large. So as kids do start to read, like my daughter is just finished kindergarten, so she's able to start picking out words now, so she can kind of do that. And then I've had kids at elementary school readings be able to read the pages. So that is really fun to see, the preschool level all the way up to like those early elementaries where they can read it themselves. And so that's really fun transition.
That's funny. When we were getting ready to put out my first book, I said, no, the font's not big enough. Well,
Yeah,
that's the right font for a kid. I'm like, it's
I
not
guess.
enough for me.
Yeah, I
So
know.
my books were actually designed for grandparents to read
Nice.
to
Yes. You
kids.
need it. I'm working on an elementary chapter book that'll be out next year, and my book designer is putting it together right now. And I'm like, I need the font to be big enough for me because I'm still reading chapter books to my kids. And in the evening time, and I'm tired, and the lights aren't super bright. I'm like, I need this font to be big enough for me to read too.
Right? Yeah, we have to make it. Well, and some of my biggest fans are in their 70s and 80s.
No, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend said that she is learning how to be more confident from reading my children's
Awesome.
books.
Yeah. We never stop learning and growing, right?
That's it. That's it. And my children's books all started from my adult self-help,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to make it more fun for the young adult, the late high school, starting out in college, to get this boost of confidence for
Uh-huh.
themselves. So I put it in a fairy tale. And then
Love
I
it.
got all this wild feedback that, oh my God, kids need this message.
Yes.
So the confidence is really a universal message
Yeah.
across the board. And having imagination, I don't know why it is, but the older we get, the more we lose our imagination.
Yeah.
So I love that your books are all about imagination and keeping that imagination going,
Hmm.
because it's right around the age of 7 or 8 where kids start to lose it.
They do.
So I love that we're both doing the same mission, so to speak,
Yeah. Yeah.
in different ways. You're trying to keep the imagination alive, but as the kids lose their imagination, they tend to lose their confidence too.
Yeah.
They go like hand in hand. So
Yeah.
I love that a lot of people say, why are you helping promote other people's books?
You can never have too many books.
No, you can never have too many books, and we're all complementary to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot get everything you need from one book. That's
Right.
why there are libraries.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, tell people how they could get your books.
Yeah, you can visit mamabearbooks.com. We're of course on Amazon, but support our website. But also we're on social media, author Ashley Wahl, and then Mama Bear Books on the socials and everything like that too.
It's mamabear.com. Is that how they can find you on Instagram?
So mamabearbooks.com is our website, and then on Instagram, like my personal one is author Ashley Wahl, and then mamabear_books. It is the publishing website
Okay.
or handle. Yeah.
Everybody go out, like and love. Give her some comments on her socials. Give her books a boost.
Yeah.
I want to see you back when you put out your next book.
I would love to. I would love to. And I can't wait to hear how your next ones are coming along too. I feel like we've got some great ideas in just this chat here.
Yes, yes, yes. I have book 3 ready to go now.
Nice. Nice.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on Parents Talk. Is there any last words you want to give to parents?
Just keep on reading. Keep on reading, keep on imagining, and never stop believing in magic.
Yes. And let your sparkle shine.
Let your sparkle shine.
Bye.
All right, bye.